Welcome back to Spoiler Alert. I'm Susan.
And I'm Bryan, and this week we are going to look at the 1987 movie Alien: Private Eye. This movie was released under several titles, including Alien P.I., Lemro Private Eye, and Space Detective. It was written and directed by Vic Rubenfeld, and this is his only director credit. He was also a writer and producer on the TV series Early Edition. I wasn't able to find any budget information on this movie or how much it made, but it looks like it's a fairly low-budget affair, but it is a professionally made movie, so it's very different from the movie we looked at last time. The movie starts with our hero, Lemro, in some crazy 80s fashions, and he's walking down the street kind of Saturday Night Fever style. He's wearing like white pants and a jacket and a hat and a tank top.
I put him as Pimp Daddy.
So the action starts when these guys run past him and they have this woman cornered in a back alley, and Lemro walks up and he says, "Yo, let her go."
Yo, let her go. Let her go now.
This is a very overused and cliched scene that pops up in a lot of superhero movies and comic books, where the hero rescues a damsel in distress in a back alley in the city. That's been done 1,000 times. So these bad guys have guns. But Lemro, he kung fu's them all up. And for some reason, they don't just shoot him, even though they have guns. They're all very polite, and they wait patiently for him to beat them up.
Yeah. They stand there, and it's just like, okay, hit me.
Yeah,
Okay, done.
There's absolutely no reason they couldn't just shoot him. After Lemro rescues this lady, they go back to his place, and he's doing this dance routine.
He just walks on in,
Yeah.
and he just starts to dance.
Yeah,
we don't know why. That's just what he does.
Yeah, it's got a stereo going, and I get the feeling he does this all the time when he comes home.
It's like a teenager bringing home a date. Hey, look at me. Look how cool I am.
It reminds me of the scene from Troll 2 with the teenage daughter doing the 80s dance. The woman's name is Renee, and she decides, enough of this, let's go dancing. They go to a dance club, and they start dancing, and they start making out, and that's when the bad guys attack. But Lemro karates them all up, and then he actually shoots a few of them. And what's funny about this scene is there are no consequences to having a shootout in this club. It happens, and the bad guys get all shut up.
Nobody else shows up. No cops show up.
No cops.
No authorities show up.
Then they just leave.
Everybody's gone.
Yeah.
Everybody just screams and leaves.
Right. And Lemro shoots up all these guys, and you know, hey, it was self-defense, so he can just go home, right?
Sure.
The cops don't have any reason to question him. I imagine before they leave, he does a Han Solo, where he walks up to the bar and throws some cash on the bar and says, "Sorry about the mess."
Sorry about the mess.
Back at his place, that's where they have an R-rated sex scene.
She said, "You know, I have to trust someone before I can be with them." Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't take time. They don't get to take time to know each other. They just, and then they just start going at it.
You gotta keep in mind these characters don't know each other. They met earlier that day.
A few hours before.
Yeah. And twice in the time that they've known each other, they've been in fights. This guy's obviously bad news.
She's the damsel in distress, and now she's like, he's so dreamy.
So
he saved me.
They have some R-rated sex, but he's got his hat on.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess he's planning on keeping his hat on. Like the song, you can keep your hat on, but the hat's got to go.
It's annoying to her.
Right. So she takes the hat off, and then she sees the startling thing that he's got Spock ears.
Really pointy, and you can take them off and use them as a pencil. They're so pointy.
They're like long and pointy, like elf ears. This obviously disturbs her.
She's like, oh. Okay, because she's kind of stuck there. She can't do anything.
Yeah, he's kind of on top, and he's not going anywhere. So I guess she decides to ride it out.
Yeah, okay, I'll let him do his thing. And
fortunately, she doesn't have to wait too long, because the entire episode lasts about 30 seconds. I mean, he's in, he's done, he's out. You know, he's like, wow, that's great.
That was great.
Spends the night.
Yeah.
They fall asleep, and then she gets up, gets dressed, and is gonna leave, but he gets up, and they argue about why she's leaving.
She asks, what are you? And he says, an alien.
What are you?
An alien.
That's obvious.
She says she doesn't want to see him again, but she doesn't question the alien part. This guy just said, I'm an alien, and she doesn't seem to react to that.
What? That's kind of weird.
So this is the thing that really got me confused about the world that in which this movie takes place.
Right.
Is like, are aliens common in this world? Do people know that aliens walk among them, or are the aliens there in secret?
It's like
I don't know.
bed they live walking amongst us. I would have questions.
Of
I
course.
would want to know.
Now, she obviously has some alien prejudice because she can't date an alien.
Yeah,
but
she's like, I'm not prejudiced.
I'm not prejudiced, I just hate aliens.
No, she doesn't even question, wait a minute. Let's just play back what happened. I just had sex with an alien. Is it a lizard? Do we have a V episode going on?
Is something gonna burst out of her chest?
No.
You don't know. You don't know.
Nothing. I would want to know. Those are some questions that I would want to know.
So the next day, we see Lemro at his job. By the way, the audio on this movie, at least the copy that we saw, made it difficult to understand his name. His name is Lemro with an L.
And it sounds like ruh-roh.
Lemro. Lemro. Lemro.
And
Right.
then they showed the scene with his name on the door. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's not what I heard. Alien Private Eye.
Yeah, and this is when we start the Maltese Falcon, if you want to call it an homage. A femme fatale walks into the office named Electra,
Call me Electra.
and she wants him to find something, an ancient Egyptian artifact, which obviously is going to be the MacGuffin in this movie. And she's an alien too.
They don't say how she knows who he is. She somehow just knows that he's an alien.
She knows he's an alien private eye.
She shows her ears and they're like silver lined.
They do say the name of their home planet, which is Styx, which I'm assuming they don't show the spelling, but I'm assuming it's like the band Styx. We get another character that enters the story by the name of Scamma. Electra goes and hides in the closet. And this guy, Scamma, comes in, and the moment he speaks, it goes from being an homage to the Maltese Falcon a parody.
You can't not know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
He does the worst Peter Lorre impression.
And as soon as you hear it, you're just like, seriously? Movie, really? You're gonna go this way?
A matter of the utmost importance. The fate of the Earth will not be unaffected by the outcome of the matter about which I wish to speak to you.
It's that point where the Maltese Falcon references are no longer subtle. They're smacking you in the face
everywhere.
with it. This Gamma, he's an alien too, but he's had plastic surgery so he doesn't have the pointy ears.
No, he just looks like an average Joe who just talks like Peter Lorre.
He's also looking for this missing artifact, but he says it's not an ancient Egyptian artifact, it's a thermonuclear device. He's got to find it before anyone else does. This scene, it hits all the same notes that the scene in Maltese Falcon hits when Peter Lorre meets Humphrey Bogart. It's essentially the same scene, but with aliens.
Sit down, Mr. Cairo.
Thank you, sir.
Now, what can I do for you, Mr. Cairo?
Gamma pulls a gun. He finds Electra in the closet. They know each other. Gamma leaves at this point. That's when Electra offers
$1 million quiplets.
$1 million quiplets.
$1 million quiplets. I'll give you $1 million quiplets. It's worth $1 million quiplets.
Find the disc, Lemro. I'll pay you 1 million quiplets for it.
1 million quiplets. It's a lot of money on Styx.
And I'm just like, is that the same as Spaceballs?
Yeah.
$1 million Spaceballs.
You forgot late charges, which brings it up to 1 million space bucks.
1 million?
We'll be quipleters.
Now we're in a limo with a guy with a gold skull and crossbones tooth. We have two rival gangs, and apparently they're trying to make a deal for the disc. The lead guy of one gang, his name is Kilgore. And he says he only has half of the disc. These two gangs start shooting at each other for no good reason that I can tell. Kilgore's gang shoots all of the other gang and they all die. Kilgore reveals that his friend was wearing a bulletproof vest, but then Kilgore removes the bulletproof vest and then shoots his friend. He shoots his own guy.
Because that's what we do.
But we go back to Renee. Renee is visiting her brother, Steve, and Steve is high on the drugs. We find out through a flashback what happened.
Yeah, because she just asks him, and then he's like, it happened a long, long time ago.
Yeah. We get a flashback, and he's at a bar. He gets beat up along with his buddies, and then Kilgore, the leader of the gang, shoots Steve with the drug. He says it's worse than heroin and cocaine, and now he's already hooked on it and he needs more. Now we're back at Lemro's house and Scamma shows up. Everybody on their home planet knows who Lemro is. He's apparently a big-time celebrity there and has really made a name for himself. And Scamma wants to make his own career by being the one to retrieve this disc. As Scamma is leaving, he pulls a gun on Lemro, and Lemro just beats him up. And when he's doing this, he has this line, he says, "Didn't you ever hear of John Huston?"
Didn't you ever hear of John Huston?
John Huston, the director of the Maltese Falcon. So in case you hadn't figured out that we're doing the Maltese Falcon with aliens, they're name dropping the director. At the end of this scene was pointless. It adds nothing.
There was no reason for it. I didn't even know what was going on. I'm like, why is this guy in here? You focus more on the bad Peter Lorre impersonation.
Yeah, it's very distracting.
Than what they're talking about.
The Peter Lorre, mock Peter Lorre voice is very distracting. It takes over the whole scene.
He didn't need that at all.
We're at a warehouse and there are some people chanting, "Kilgore, Kilgore." Kilgore takes the drug and then he starts handing it out to his favorite minions. And they say the name of the drug. The drug is called Soma. Now they're ripping off some classic science fiction. We get introduced to a new character, Delilah. She says she wants to be let go, so apparently she's being held there against her will. She has this really juvenile exchange with Kilgore.
Because I love.
You call hate love.
We have a love-hate relationship, darling.
All love-hate relationships are hate-hate relationships.
All right, then I hate you.
Oh, yeah?
I know.
Well, I'll beat you up.
I'm rubber, you're glue. I know you are, but what am I?
It just see with the flagpole.
It just ping pong back and forth. It's very silly. But she gets the Soma injection, and then everybody chants again, and then we're done with that scene.
Lemro in a bar. The old depressed boy in a bar.
Yeah, he's drinking.
Contemplating life.
Then his friend comes in, and I did not catch his friend's name. This character is inconsequential and doesn't add anything to the story, so who cares, really?
That's just basically Lemro telling his friend he thinks he's in love because he met that girl.
He's in love with Renee,
and she's gone. He doesn't know where she is.
But there's a third person involved in this conversation, and that is Lemro's leather suit.
Yeah.
Every time he moves, it squeaks.
The same girl I told you about over the phone. The one I met the day before yesterday.
I didn't cut it out.
And the suit is louder than the
he just
the two
moves
people.
an arm and it goes.
So we do learn that Lemro has the hots for Renee.
It's
and
love.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
love.
her.
Alien love.
I met her one time. We cut to Lemro's house. And Renee shows up.
Because she says her brother has been poisoned. And she has the other half of the disc. Her brother found it in the bar after the bar fight. Lemro takes a look at it and there's some alien writing on it. He doesn't know exactly what it is, but it does seem dangerous. It has like a warning on it. He says he will handle those sons of bitches.
I'll handle these sons of bitches myself.
And then he sends Renee off and the disc. He has her take the disc with her.
For good keeping,
yeah.
For safekeeping.
This thing that the bad guys are willing to kill for. Take that back to your house. You know, I don't want it around here.
Okay, off you go.
Yeah, see ya.
Let's see how it works out for
Take this dangerous thing that the bad guys are looking for, too. So Kilgore kills a priest. For no reason. Priest is just saying, "You've got to change your ways."
My son, you must turn from these evil ways.
And it's like, where did he come from?
Yeah, who is the priest?
Who is he?
Yeah, we don't know.
How does he know the bad guys? Where does he play it in this?
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
There's no foreshadowing, no lead up to this scene at all. There's just a priest who knows apparently who Kilgore is and knows that he's a bad guy.
It's like, do they just have a priest on hand?
So Kilgore just pops him, and then Kilgore's black friend is like, "How could you do it? How could you kill a priest, man?
I've been with you for so long."
I've been with you a long time, man. How could you do that to a priest?
So what does Kilgore do?
Kills him.
Kills the black friend. Yeah. The purpose of this scene is to just make sure we haven't forgotten that this Kilgore is a bad dude. He will even kill his own men. He'll kill a priest. He would, if there were a nun there, he would have killed a nun. Puppies. He would have killed puppies.
Probably.
He will even kill his own black friend.
Cut back to Lemro's place, and Electra's there on his couch, all dolled up.
You know what she wants?
He's just telling her about how he loves Renee.
But Electra needs some alien sex.
Yeah, but you know, it may not work out. You're here. Let's go to town.
Yeah.
So they do.
I like that. I like
It's like,
I like his logic. I'm in love with another woman. I'm in love with Renee, but she ain't here. And not sure how she feels about me. So loophole. Let's do it.
okay.
Lemro goes to Renee's apartment. He arrives just in time to stop an assassin. Lemro shoots the guy in the ear, and the guy jumps out a window and lands in some really poofy bushes. And then jumps in a car and drives away, and then Lemro gives chase in Renee's car. Lemro follows the guy to the warehouse, and then later that night he goes back with Renee, and that's when he apologizes for not telling her before they got together that he was an alien.
Yeah, and she's like, "I'm sorry that I freaked out.
Yeah, but she
I
says,
just didn't know what to do."
But she says, "I don't think I could ever be involved with an alien."
Oh,
dude.
man.
Yep, she's just not that into you. He explains why he's on Earth, which it says basically is for vacation. It doesn't make any sense. This is just some bullshit reason that they contrived to have some purpose for him being on Earth. Lemro sneaks into the warehouse, and we see Kilgore, who demands food. Food!
Food! For food!
Food! More food!
This is something that's really hard to do in movies. It's hard to do a sneaking around scene without making it really slow and drag out and making it really boring. And unfortunately, they're not successcul in this movie.
If they did something like make him, I don't know, roll around or something.
Yeah, like do a stuntman roll or something. But no, it's just creeping around really slowly. He makes his way to Kilgore's office, and this is amusing. Kilgore has a portrait of Hitler in his office. Lemro finds the other half of the disc. He takes that with him.
They just keep it lying around.
Yeah, it's the most important artifact apparently on the planet, but they just keep it lying on the desk. But he gets captured by Kilgore. Kilgore gives him a double dose of Soma. Dun dun dun.
What do we do?
I don't think this is enough for you. You feel this.
What I think is hilarious, though, is apparently Kilgore does not search Lemro, because if he did, he would have discovered that Lemro had the half of the disc. He just tells his minions to go take care of him. Kilgore himself doesn't stick around to make sure that his enemy is actually taken care of. So he's pulling a Dr. Evil here.
Wait, aren't you even going to watch them? They could get away. No. I'm going to leave them alone and not actually witness them dying. I'm just going to assume it all went to plan. What?
Lemro Jim Cotta's his way out and escapes, and then there's a car chase, but the bad guy's car runs into this parked car and explodes, because apparently this parked car was carrying dynamite.
Like all cars.
Yeah, like, you know, just like any average
80s car.
Yeah, any average car parked along the sidewalk. Boom!
So then we cut to Lemro in Renee's house. He wakes up in a bed to her cooking breakfast.
He combines the two halves of the disc to find out what it is. It's a device that makes soma. This is where we get an explanation of what soma does. It's a drug that's so great that it's almost as good as having sex.
It was a weapon or an experimental drug.
Lemro describes soma. He says, if you do it even once, you're hooked on it. If you do it 5 times, then you are hooked for life. And if you do it 200 times, you die. And if you try to quit cold turkey after the 5th use, then you die. Lemro and Renee's brother Steve have only had 2 doses. They haven't had 5 yet, which means they can still kick it. Back at Kilgore's headquarters, he gives this guy a shot of soma. That must have been his 200th shot.
He bagged and bagged.
Yeah, and he drops dead. Kilgore is on it too. He's taking the drug too. So, according to this movie's own logic, if you take it 200 times, you drop dead. So all they really have to do is wait for Kilgore to take his 200th injection, and he's dead. Problem solved. Bad guy's dead.
And they're not selling it to anybody. They're just picking random people off the streets and just shooting them up.
Giving it like to his favorite people, but we don't see anywhere where he's selling it.
It's not being spread, so it'll continue.
But Kilgore goes back to his office, and that's when he discovers that his half of the disc is gone. And then he prays to Hitler.
The Hitler picture.
Oh, Hitler, who art in hell, help me find this disc!
And orders his men to go find and kill Lemro. Lemro meets Steve. Renee told Steve that Lemro is from France. So that's really cheesy reference to the Coneheads. Steve and Lemro resolve to kick the drug together. So they go to a hotel and they have to go cold turkey for 3 days. We see them have their withdrawal symptoms, which causes them to overact. Steve punches a wall.
He punches a wall, he has a big scream, and then Lemro comes up behind and touches him, and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks,
bro.
Man. Like,
man, bro, man.
Mine.
Well, it seems like the next day, they're all better.
Yeah, there's no way 3 days went by.
Right. The way they edit it, the way they cut it together, it doesn't seem like that much time has passed. It feels like the next day, and they're all better, you know, kicked it.
There's no sense of time. There's no...
Worse than heroin and cocaine.
Apparently, you could kick it in a day.
Yeah, shiver for a little bit, punch a wall, you're fine. Lemro describes the planet Styx to Renee, and it's hilarious. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's something that a 5-year-old would come up with. It's got silver grass, mountains 10 miles high, 5 moons, 10 suns.
Silver grass, mountains 10 miles high, 5 moons, 10 suns.
Mass hysteria.
It really does. I mean, it sounds like it's describing a 5-year-old's drawing.
I mean, I wouldn't want to live in a place that has 10 suns.
So, yeah,
I'd be burned to a crisp after if we had 2.
So it sounds like it's describing a 5-year-old's drawing, like a crayon drawing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's got 5 moons and 10 suns, and I couldn't find the green crayon, so I'm using silver crayon to make the grass, silver grass. Electra and Scamma exposit about the soma disc.
Yeah, we don't know. It was just cut to that.
Yeah.
So we don't know.
So they're talking about it. They're just giving us exposition, and apparently they're like alien FBI agents.
But instead, it entered an uncharted black hole, which flung it into an entirely unexpected region of the universe.
Your region?
It fell to Earth here 2 weeks ago. Only my discovery of the uncharted black hole permitted me, amongst the thousands of agents assigned to this case, to trace it to its destination.
The upshot is that it's just an accident that it happens to be on Earth. It just happens to be on the same planet where Lemro, who is from the planet where the disc came from, he just happens to be on vacation, working as a private eye. And we have a shootout in an alley. The bad guys got Renee. They're having a shootout in an alley, and the bad guys are holding Renee hostage, and then they do this switcheroo. This truck pulls up and blocks the view of Lemro and his buddies, and then they switch Renee for Delilah. They do a switch, and then the truck moves, and then they shoot Delilah, and so Lemro and his friends think that Renee is dead, and he reacts.
Renee!
Renee! If there's a classic moment from this movie, that's probably it.
There was a pause after.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, we got it, because he's just waiting.
If there's any scene from this movie that would become a meme, that would probably be it.
Renee!
So now Lemro thinks that Renee has been killed, and he's ready for action. So he gets all Rambo'd up.
We're suiting up Rambo style.
Yeah, doing a Rambo, gearing up montage. Yeah, and then he has like these wrist lasers.
Laser cuffs.
Lemro, Elektra, and Scamma attack the warehouse. But oddly, Scamma and Elektra are just using regular guns.
Yeah.
Elektra has an Uzi, Scamma has a pistol.
Just what they have right here.
Even though they are the alien FBI agents, they're using Earth weapons. And Lemro's the only one that gets the cool science fiction wrist lasers. Inside the warehouse, we see that Kilgore has kidnapped Renee and is holding her against her will. We have the final battle in Kilgore's office. Lemro rushes in and sees that Renee is still alive. Kilgore challenges Lemro to a fair fight. This is the bad guy, okay? This is the bad guy. When he puts his weapon down, then you shoot him. Fair fight. This guy has already killed a bunch of people. But no, we're doing another Spaceballs.
If there's one thing I despise, it is a fair fight. But if I must, then I must. May the best man win. Put her there.
They just start punching each other.
I'll hit. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, your turn.
Yeah.
Okay, hit. Okay, my turn.
And then they start leg wrestling. Lemro hits Kilgore, and then Kilgore dies.
He just punches him in the stomach.
Just drops dead.
And he falls over and dies.
And even Lemro kind of points out that this is a weak ending when he says, I didn't hit you that hard.
I didn't hit you that hard, buddy.
So it makes you think, maybe Kilgore was on his last shot anyway.
Yeah, I guess.
He was just too pumped up, and then he just got so weak all of a sudden.
But if that was the case, they didn't have to do anything. He was about ready to drop dead.
Yeah.
They didn't even need to have the assault. He would have dropped dead on his own. Well, what did you think of the movie overall?
It's not in that, like, oh my god, this is so bad, it's a good, I have to see it over and over.
Yeah.
It's bad, but it also is it's entertaining.
Yeah, it's entertaining, like, not entirely in an ironic way. It has some actual decent scenes.
Somebody spent money.
Yeah.
And they did it well enough to where you can tell that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's something that somebody shot on their phone or a camcorder. I mean, it looks like a professionally made movie. It's just not done very well. There are scenes that are pointless. Character development is iffy.
Right. I mean, the soundtrack's not that bad, but the acting's not bad. Except for Mr. Peter Lorre Man.
Yeah, the Scamma was awful. It is so distracting. That
didn't need it.
That almost pushes the movie into the so bad it's good category. They weren't trying to do a parody, but this actor was doing such a poor imitation of Peter Lorre that it almost came out like a parody. It's laughable.
Right.
You cannot take it seriously.
No. No, he ruins the scenes.
What really was the point of having the aliens in the movie? You could have easily changed this movie, taken out the alien element, and had the exact same story.
But if you wanted aliens, add more alien stuff.
Sure. I mean,
add more sci-fi to it.
There wasn't. Yeah, exactly. That's what this was missing. They were doing
there was no alien stuff besides talking about a
You got the wrist lasers at
And
the very
that's it.
end, but that's not anything. You could have cut out all the alien stuff and still had the same story. You have a private eye, you have this new street drug, you have these FBI agents trying to get it, and the alien part didn't add very much.
You kind of forget.
The only thing it really added was a point of conflict between Lemro and Renee. But you could have had that for some other reason other than him being an alien. You didn't really need that. Lemro was played by Nicholas Hill, and this was his first movie credit. He's had some other minor roles. His last credit was in 2006. Renee was played by Brenda Winston, and she only has one other movie credit, a movie called Candyland, also made in 1987. She hasn't done anything since. Kilgore, played by Cliff Adadel. This is the only movie credit he has on IMDb.
It's probably the only thing he was ever able to get.
Oddly, though, the guy that played Scamma, John Alexander, has lots of credits, and he's been in some big budget movies. He was in Men in Black, Men in Black 2, Hellboy 2. Elektra was played by Leanne Lee, and this is also her only credit on IMDb. I could picture her doing softcore porn, though, and this is her big breakout role.
She's got that look.
That's it for this week. Next week, we're going to do something really different, something that I don't think I've seen anybody review before. We're going to review a religious TV show. So we'll check that out. So that was our review of Alien Private Eye. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Bryan.
This is Susan.
We'll see you next time.
Renee!